we are always honored to have this next guest. He's part of our Give Local York interview series leading up to the big give on May 7th. Last year, we raised $3,500,000 in a COVID year with a virtual kind of celebration. And on May 7th, it's not just going to be virtual this year. It's going to be beyond that. And we are looking forward to our giving community getting out there and helping a lot of the nonprofits again. Well, one of the groups doing a great service here in the area, especially for our veterans, is the York County Veteran Outreach. And with us this morning is Kevin Eck. And Kevin, good morning. Always good to have you on the show, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Gary. Thank you for having me.
Kevin, talk a little bit about what, you know how we feel about our veterans in our country. There's never enough that we can do for our veterans. And York County Veteran Outreach is yet another group that's really reaching out to help those veterans right now. In how many different ways? Tell us about some of the things that are happening there.
Well, you're right. There's not enough that we can do to help these men and women who come back to York County after everything, after their service is complete. The first thing I'll say about the York County Veterans Outreach, and the most important thing, is that all the funds that we raise directly impact veterans right here in York County. So we want to take care of our own. No disrespect to anybody in Lancaster or the surrounding areas, but we take care of our home base, York County. We do that by addressing individual needs as they arise. If somebody comes to us, a veteran that has a short-term need that, they've hit a rough spot and they need assistance with something around the house or something with PTSD or mental health or food insecurity, transportation, we'll address those individual needs one by one. And then we also support about 9 different other veteran-focused nonprofits in the area. We support them financially through supporting their ongoing services to these veterans.
For people that are trying to get their head around exactly what all you do, you basically recognize needs, and those needs aren't necessarily something that you can necessarily draw out in advance. In other words, needs come up as they come up, and you have to kind of plug in those holes. Is that a fair way of saying it, Kevin?
It is. They do arise when they arise, but there are other ones that are longer term. In York County, transportation has been an issue for a lot of veterans because we have some places that are so far removed from the epicenter of activity. So transportation, food insecurity is something that you have veterans that have a family of 3 or 4 or 5. They've hit a rough patch, and, it's continually difficult for them to get food on their plate. PTSD is another, that's one of the predominant ones, and that's continually reoccurring. So by funding certain programs out there, we support Leg Up Farm, we support the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. We give them grants continually that aid in the programs that will assist veterans year after year after year.
Yeah, these are all worthwhile, and especially the food bank, which has been doing just unbelievable yeoman duty this last year. And the need is going to continue on, we understand, for like 2 more years on that as well. When you talk about PTSD, so many veterans come back and they want to make it on their own, or they're quiet people, or they don't want to tell you about the problems. And that's one of the problems you have out there, too, is identifying where these people are and the needs that they have. Isn't that a case, Kevin?
It's a big hurdle. And what we always do, we encourage people to speak up. If you have a cousin, if you have a father, if you have a son, if you have a wife, if you have a neighbor, if you know a veteran in the community that's hit a rough patch, oftentimes they are going to have pride and honor and humility, and they aren't going to want to speak up on their own. We encourage you to try to connect us with them. We have a lot of veterans in our team that know how to talk veteran to veteran, individual to individual, and they might be able to get through to them and say, hey, listen, these programs and services are available. Let us help you get through this rough patch so that you can turn around and help others. But it's just being cognizant of who these individuals are and what people are going through. Gary, as you know, the last 12 months, it's been terrible for a lot of people. And there's people suffering far and wide. And as a community, we need to stand there and, be aware of what people are going through.
We're talking with Kevin Eck of York County Veteran Outreach. Kevin, you talked about keeping the dollars local. Obviously, a lot of people are making a lot of decisions with their money on the 7th of May, and the big give is going to be a huge day. Obviously, we want people to be thinking about York County Veterans Outreach. What would you tell them? What is that money going to go to doing during this time when they decide to give those dollars?
Well, I can't give an honest answer because I don't know what need is going to pop up in the next 2 to 3 weeks or so. But I will say that, supporting veterans right here locally, You know, in the last couple months, we've had veterans we've assisted with electrical issues in their house. We're working with a veteran to get a new roof or roof repairs done for them. We just helped a couple veterans pay for some PTSD, mental health training or mental health classes. You know, so it's everything that's just going to better the life of a veteran or multiple veterans here in the community.
Yeah. The target is moving, and the important thing is that we'd be able to meet that target. Again, these people helped us. Now it's our time to help them. York County Veterans Outreach does that. Kevin Eck, and you can find out more about his organization. Go to givelocalyork.org, and you can go in there and just search for York County Veterans Outreach. But I hope you will certainly think about our veterans on May 7th when it is time to give in the day of the big give. Kevin, always appreciate what you're doing, man. You do such a wonderful job. I know we'll be talking with you about other issues coming up here fairly soon, but this is one that's really on our minds today, and we appreciate you taking the time to tell us all about it.
Hey, always a pleasure, Gary. Thank you for your time. We enjoy talking to you.
Take care, my friend. Thank you. Kevin Eck, York County Veterans Outreach.